Hey guys, I had the chance to sit down with Joe Pettinga tonight for Wednesday's wrap up, following up on Sunday morning's message about pain and suffering. And this is, if you or someone you know is in a dark room of pain and suffering, listening to the words that Joe offers are so good. And so I hope that this is a blessing to you. I hope that you find this worthwhile. And I'll come back at the end for a couple of questions for discussion with the people that you live with or your friends or your family. But without further ado, here's my conversation with Joe. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, no problem.
How are you doing?
Good. Really good.
How's life in quarantine?
Life in quarantine is okay so far. Actually, I'm still working for another day.
Okay.
So I have one job that I have to get so that the people can stay living in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Then after that, I don't know. I'm going to have to do some house projects, I guess.
Yeah. There's some cabinets that need some repainting or what?
Yeah, just a couple. Julie's probably got a list already, just waiting to go, you know. So.
Have you guys done your bathroom cabinets or no?
So we did one bathroom cabinet,
okay.
But the side's not done because I needed some wood putty.
Yeah.
So we haven't wood puttied that, so the side's not done yet. But other than that, we have to do our two in the upstairs. So we'll see how that goes.
Gotcha. So some painting of cabinets could be in your future.
Yeah, actually, we have some bigger projects we're gonna do. Downstairs, we're putting a bedroom in, and then upstairs, we're gonna do something on our fireplace wall. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got some projects.
Yep, you're gonna stay busy.
Yep.
Good for you, man. I was curious. I know I texted this to you earlier, but is there any special considerations for you in the quarantine time, or no?
Well, I'm very high risk. I'm immunosuppressed.
Yeah.
So I take immunosuppressants, which just means that it just takes away most of your immune system.
Yep.
So I mean that's how my kidney survives. So yeah, I'm at pretty high risk, I'd say. So
yeah.
Whatever that means, I don't know. I think everybody should probably do the same thing that I'm doing. So
yep.
Anyway, so I don't really treat it any different than anybody else. But Julie's been kind of going to the stores and stuff like that. I don't know if that makes a difference either, because if she brings it home, I'm gonna have it. But
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So.
Yeah.
Who would you like to call?
Siri went off for some reason.
Oh, it's amazing how those things listen, eh? The other day, Alana and I were just in the middle of a conversation, and I asked her something, and my phone started trying to give me the answer.
Wow, that's pretty good. This was not helping. This was just going off. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks for doing this. I'm recording our conversation, and in hopes that this will be helpful to somebody else who listens or watches. It'll go up as a podcast, and it will go up as a YouTube video. So after Sunday's message, which I saw the Instagram post of you guys all around your TV, which is great.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Loved it.
Sunday's message was about dealing with pain and suffering, and that's something that you know a little bit about. So would you mind just sharing what your experience has been?
Yeah, sure.
A little bit of your story, and then we'll jump into the faith side of things.
Yeah, I mean, pain and suffering does seem a little harsh, but yeah, I feel like I probably have had some, and yeah, I mean, I'll tell just a little bit of my story, try to keep it a little short, because I'm 40 now, so it's been a lot of different things. But when I was 12, I was diagnosed with IgA nephropathy, which just means that the little filters in your kidney get blocked by a protein called IgA. So for whatever reason, your IgA will go through your kidney, mine won't. So when I was 12, I was diagnosed with that, and then by the time I was 19, my kidney had failed. So 7 years after that, and then I went on dialysis and had my first kidney transplant. So after that, I've had 3 more, so 4 kidney transplants. I've spent, I think, 10 years or 11 years on dialysis since then. So since I was 19, and I'm 40 now. So half those years I've spent on dialysis. And again, my kidney is actually rejecting again. So just tough stuff. But I mean, so there has been some suffering. I mean, because of the dialysis, I've had heart failure, and I've had more surgeries than I can count, and I've been in the hospital a lot and off work a lot. So yeah, it's been Julie and I have had a lot of ups and downs through that. So I mean, we've had financial problems. I mean, not huge financial problems because of wonderful people, but been to our last dollar. We've had it where a lot of things of depression, stuff like that, where just things to do with dialysis that really can't be helped. It's just it's tough on your body and tough on your brain, and so we've had multiple problems because of the dialysis, and the transplant is really what I need, but just can't seem to keep one. My disease keeps coming back, and now at first my disease came back for the first rejection, and now I just have rejection after rejection because of the antibodies in my blood, which is just means that it attacks my kidney. So
Right.
But yeah, so I've had I mean, through that, I mean, seems like there's been a lot of joy, but there's also been a lot of suffering too. So
Yeah, a tremendous amount of pain and disappointment too. Hope and disappointment, and hope and then disappointment. Yeah. What are some of the things that have? I mean, you're an incredible man of faith. I've gotten to know you for the last couple of years now, really since 2016, so the last 4 years, and your steadiness in faith has always been a huge. I don't know. It's amazing to me. I mean, so many people see their pain as a pathway out, and yet that doesn't seem to be the case for you. And so I was wondering if you could share a little bit about why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I like to think I'm steady, but I'm not always, like I have my moments where, I mean, I love God always. I know he's there. I know he's there for me. But a lot of times I say, what in the world? Like, I mean, even though you've heard it a million times that God is with you, sometimes when you're in the worst moments, it's like, why me? What's happening to me? But, early on, Julie and I both kind of wondered, because she has gone through a lot of suffering through this too as well.
Yeah.
Just as much as I have. And we decided that our comfort is not in this life. Like, no matter what happens, we've had a lot of terrible things happen. And God has given us what we've needed. And really, in our hardest times, we have been closer to God than I would say any time in between that. So, really, when your comfort is not in this world, when we had no money, when we didn't know how we were going to pay our next bill, all you can do is trust in God for that. And when you don't know if you're going to make it out of a hospital bed, when you think you're going to die, when you're sitting there just like, I can't breathe, my body is completely gone, my heart is going to explode. And at that point, your comfort is not, my job or the things that I have in my house or, that kind of thing, like the things of this world, even my friends or my family, it's not there. It's that God died for you and he saved you. And that's really my only comfort. And that's what makes you stay strong, So I feel like through all that, and even with my last disappointment in, I think it was December, Julie and I came back and we were like, I said to Julie, I just have no hope right now. you know, like my hope is gone. And it took me like a couple weeks. I had people come up to me and like say, you know, a bunch of different things that are true and that God helps you. But at that point I was pretty mad and I was pretty upset. And like, I thought, you know, like this, like what's going to happen next? I know this road. I know what happens on dialysis. I know that the chance of heart attack. I know the chance of all these things that can happen. But at the end of the day, Christ is died for you. And this is just the beginning. This is not the end. This is just a small blip in your life. So, but I mean, that's the basic thing is your comfort can't be in money or, because I know for a fact, like the hospital can take your money away in 2 seconds. Like they can say, oh, here's a $40,000 drug that you need to take once a month for a year. There goes a lot of money. Like you have no money now. Or, I mean, there's a whole bunch of instances, right? But I mean, this is just an example. So, and I'm sorry I use money a lot, but this is just something that Julie and I have gone through multiple times. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and God can say, you know, your health is gone too. And he said that to me multiple times. So anyway, I think that's probably the biggest comfort that I have and the best way to keep my faith. So
that's really helpful. What would you, if you had the chance to sit down on a bench next to somebody who's in the dark room of pain and suffering and in that spot of no hope, it's one thing to say, you know, you got to find your comfort in something outside of this life. You got to find your comfort in knowing that your Father in heaven loves you so much. He died for you. He sent his only son for you. What are some of the actual sort of like that's good to hear, Joe, but what do I do? What are some of the practices? What are some of the habits? What are some of the things that you've put in place in your life that bring you back to that truth?
So I think surrounding yourself with people that are that know God and know the truth about Him. I think that's one of the things where I go somewhere and I get down, or I say to Julie, you know, this is you know, how are we going to do this? And she says, you know, God is going to provide for us. I mean, you don't know what that provision is going to be, but He loves you more than the birds and the animals, right? I mean, it says it in the Bible, and He will provide for you. And whether it means He will give you food, or, you know, you go to be with your Lord and Savior, I don't know. But the thing about it is, if you look at anything in this life, it's only temporary comfort, and it can easily be taken away in any second. And that's true with anybody.
Gotcha. So surround yourself with people who find that same comfort outside of this life. Anything else you would tell?
So. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we do is pray regularly. I think that you can't have a relationship with God without praying regularly. I mean, it's the way that you listen, the way that you talk, and I think by listening to things that are positive and of value to what you're going through, I think those are, and also talking to somebody that has also gone through the same thing you have, because there's an end. Most things there's an end to, not everything, but most things there's an end to, where somebody can say to you, this is what we have. You know, another hard thing that I didn't even talk about is Ellie, my daughter, has cochlear implants, and she was deaf from age 1. This is a huge thing for people getting cochlear implants. They want to know how their child's going to turn out. They want to know, I mean, this is suffering. Like your child being sick, that's suffering. And they want to know what's going to be at the end of that. And to look at that and see, oh, I can be a better person at the end of this, or I can, everything's going to work out, or even if it's not going to work out the way you want it, God has a plan for you. So.
Good. So it's somebody who shares your struggle, surround yourself with people who will have that hope and that's outside this life, and spend time in prayer. I think those are very practical things.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say to the people who are listening or watching, and anything you want to say to anybody who's in a dark room of suffering right now?
I say, talk to somebody. I mean, God has given us people for a reason. He's given us each other for a reason. We're not here to get through things on our own. God says that multiple times. He's said it to us, and it's truth. Like when you talk to somebody, you will feel better. Not right away, maybe sometimes, but God, and also, we need to share things like that. We need to share things with each other. Otherwise, there's no way. Otherwise, you feel like, for instance, sometimes I feel like I'm the sick person all the time. Like everybody's helping me all the time. Mm-hmm. So I think to share something with somebody that has gone through something gives them, hope that they can help somebody else too. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different reasons, but God has given you people for a reason.
What do you think you've been learning over the last? We could ask you over the course of your life, really, but what in the last year or two do you think God's been teaching you the most?
God has taught me a lot through this. He's taught me a lot of humility. I probably had, most younger people think they're invincible, but I had a special case of that. And also he's taught me, that we need to work together. Like this thing that we have right now as a church, in the Caledonia Gathering, people need each other. Like we can't self-isolate. We can't go to church and just say hi and then you're done. We need to go deep and learn things about each other to help each other. So
it's good. Comes from a real place for you. I love it. Thanks so much for doing this, Joe. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for calling me, Corey.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you too. And eventually we'll see each other again, actually, in the physical world.
But it'll be nice.
Yeah. For now, we'll settle. All right. Have a good night, Joe.
All right. Yeah, you too, Corey.
See ya.
Bye.
So, some follow-up questions. Number one, who in your life could you talk to about your pain and struggle? Joe said it's so important to find someone to talk to, maybe somebody who shares your pain, who also is experiencing the same kind of pain and suffering that you are. But even if they're not, just one person that you could share your struggle with. Joe said that there's, maybe not instantly, but things always get better. We were not meant to do this life alone. So number one, who is it that you could share your struggle with that you're going through in life? And the second question I want to ask you is just, what's one thing that you can start doing today that can help you in the midst of your pain? Just one thing. Joe gave all kinds of ideas. You could spend time learning to pray. You could surround yourself with hope-filled people who find their comfort outside of this life, who can encourage you. Maybe it's finding somebody who does share your pain and struggle, but what's just one thing you can do today? Who will you reach out to, and what's one practice or habit you can incorporate into your life? I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. We'll see you next time.